In today's world of high-speed connection, text messaging, and social networking, we often find ourselves searching for information. There are millions of blogs on the internet. News, sports, politics, and tech. But I bring it all together for you and present it in a relentlessly unconventional fashion. My name is Zenny Abraham, and this is the Blog Report. It's time now for politics. Hey everybody, I want you to hear parts of two ideas from two people, both who say they're conservative. Ronald Reagan in Georgia in 1985 and Mitt Romney on 60 Minutes last Sunday. First, Governor Romney basically defends the fact that he pays a lower tax rate than the bus driver, as one example, normally would pay. Now, here's Governor Romney.
Now, you made on your investments personally about $20 million last year, and you paid 14% in federal taxes. That's the capital gains rate. Is that fair to the guy who makes $50,000 and paid a higher rate than you did?
It is a low rate, and one of the reasons why the capital gains tax rate is lower is because capital has already been taxed once at the corporate level, as high as 35%.
So you think it is fair?
Yeah, I think it's the right way to encourage economic growth, to get people to invest, to start businesses, to put people to work.
And corporate tax rates?
Corporate tax rates also I'd bring down, and with the same idea. Let's get rid of some of the loopholes, deductions, special deals, such that we're able to pay for the reduction. I don't want a reduction in revenue coming into the government.
Now, by contrast, Ronald Reagan in 1985 essentially said that people like Governor Romney were basically using their status as being rich and powerful to manipulate the system. This is what Ronald Reagan said in Georgia in 1985.
We're going to close the unproductive tax loopholes that have allowed some of the truly wealthy to avoid paying their fair share. In theory, some of those loopholes were understandable, but in practice, they sometimes made it possible for millionaires to pay nothing, while a bus driver was paying 10% of his salary, and that's crazy. It's time we stopped it. What we're trying to move against is institutionalized unfairness. We want to see that everyone pays their fair share and no one gets a free ride. Our reasons? It's good for society when we all know that no one is manipulating the system to their advantage because they're rich and powerful. But it's also good for society when everyone pays something, that everyone makes a contribution. After all, we're all citizens, equal in the eyes of the law and equal in the eyes of God. I'm going to leave you today with some questions that I hope you'll think about, and I need you to answer. Tell me, do you think your hard-working parents ought to be able to start holding on to more of their paychecks or less? Do you think the millionaire ought to pay more in taxes than the bus driver or less? Do you think America needs more economic growth or less? Do you think we need more jobs created and more business started or less? Well, if, like young Oliver Twist, you've concluded that the answer is more, and you apparently have, you're the future. You'll soon have the vote, and you already have a voice. Make it heard.
This underscores just how modern conservatives, or those I call couch potato conservatives, don't understand what it means to be conservative. It has nothing to do with making it easier if you are rich. It has everything to do with maintaining a progressive tax system. That's what Ronald Reagan has been advocating at the time and would still advocate today. This is an amazing contrast and shows you just how the Republican Party has changed and just how out of touch it is and how it has moved away from traditional American middle-class values, the values that Ronald Reagan himself reflected and talked about. This is why the Republican Party fails, and this is why Mitt Romney fails in this election. And this is also why Barack Obama succeeds, because if you think about it, President Obama is saying exactly the same thing that Ronald Reagan said. But the same conservatives who trumpet and repeat Ronald Reagan's name don't do so when Barack Obama says the same thing. Isn't that interesting? Think about it.